Hi YouTube, it's Michelle. I was just finishing up my video for the National Eating Disorder Awareness Week. I'm sorry my last video kind of cut off. My mom was like walking in the door because she had gone around the block for a walk, so kind of just had to cut off. But as I was saying, I have my little bow on because of the week. I had one quick story I wanted to say, and then the rest of the video will be focusing on what just a few things about eating disorders and having one, and some, like, not really facts, but insights, we'll say. Well, as you guys obviously know, this week is National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, and around my school, like, one thing that I've done personally to create awareness was I made signs with different facts about eating disorders and hung them up around the school, and then they're just, like, everywhere over the school. And this one person I was talking to the other day, and they're like, I was reading one of those signs, like, when I was in the bathroom, and I'm wondering, like, who put them up, because it's not like I signed my name to the bottom or something, they're just signs. Well, apparently no one knows where they're coming from, and so all of a sudden, a bunch of different people, like, slowly started finding out that it's like, whoa, I put up the sign. And it was just really funny because everybody looked at me and they were like, you, like, of all people, it was you, you're the one for this? Is it for, like, some class or something, or do you need to do it? And I said how, no, it's something, like, that I feel is really important. One thing real quick to remember with that is that no one at my school knows, other than my counselor, the nurse, and yeah, the dean of student affairs also knows, actually, but nobody else knows that I have an eating disorder because I didn't want it, like, out yet. It'll come out when I'm ready. But so I was just saying how, like, it's something that needs to be created, like, needs to be known and being able to discuss. And I'm actually hosting next week, because it didn't work out for this week because of teachers being absent and things of that nature. So I'll be hosting a talk about eating disorders, and everyone was shocked when they heard it was me, because I'm, like, the good student who is involved in, like, youth group and nothing else, like, you know, just kind of, like, straightforward, total, she obviously has nothing else on her mind, why would she pick this topic kind of person. So that was something interesting that I wanted to share, because I don't really have anyone to tell it to. So next, continuing with the Eating Disorder Awareness Week, it's the end of the week, and I'm really getting upset because kind of like my actions throughout the week have started building up. But yeah, so luckily we actually have until tomorrow, so yay for us. But one thing that I wanted to say that a lot of people don't, like, a misconception about eating disorders is that, like, it's kind of just a diet, whereas that's just gone wrong, which it technically is, but it's different because it's a psychological issue. And eating disorders are, sorry, I'm trying to think of what to say. Eating disorders are different than just going on a diet. Anyone who goes on a diet is going on one because they feel that they're fat and they want to lose weight to be healthier or get the figure that they want and just like look better. Whereas, of course, somebody with an eating disorder wants to look better. Another really important thing that, like, makes it into a disorder is, I know it's true for me too, but by not eating, it does not only just make you into the shape you want. Eating disorder sufferers believe that it makes you into a better person, so that if you only ate X amount of calories in a day, you would be a better person, like, you would be kinder, nicer, like, it would make you overall a better person to others. Hold on, the phone's ringing. Hello again, I'm back. The phone was just ringing, and yeah, it gets annoying. And it's annoying when it's nobody specific calling. It's just like one of those infomercial things, or, yeah. So basically continuing with what I was saying, anyone suffering from a disorder convinces themselves that it'll make you a better person. It will make you smarter. It will make you more determined. It will make you, as I said, kinder and nicer. So overall, it just makes you a better person. And it's directly linked to the fact that you are controlling everything you eat. It's kind of, in a way, controlling your lifestyle, so that way you feel like you're controlling your personality more. Another thing that's very true about eating disorder sufferers is the isolation, but sometimes it's not always visible. For me, I did isolate myself from like my friends and stuff, but I still would like talk to them and see them at school, whereas I started withdrawing from everything, and eventually, part of last year, I would run into people like in the hallway who I was friends with, and they'd be like, oh, like I haven't seen you in forever, and it's because I was hiding from them. You get to a point of your isolation where you kind of become afraid of other people, and you get like anxious about what they'll say. What will they think of you? Will they think they're fat? What will happen in your conversation? And you could obsessively think about that, or at least I know I did. And so I would hide. I would get to school in the morning and I would go right to the fitness center, and the only person who was in there was one teacher who I'm actually pretty close friends with, but she was there. And then I would hide out in the chapel whenever possible. I would hardly go to hang out in the hallways in between classes. I would go directly to my class, sit down, and read a book. Like, I just did not talk to anybody. And so isolation does play a key role in eating disorders, but one thing that's important is it's not because they don't like you that they're isolating themselves. It's because they don't want you to see what they're doing to themselves. But in the mind of it, an eating disorder, like an eating disordered mind, we're showing you, we're like, look, this is what we're doing. You can totally see it. And so there would be days at lunch where I'm like pulling out my, well, I used to have like half a baby carrot for lunch, and it was cut into like really, really small pieces, which that's one of the things that most eating disorder sufferers do, is they cut things really, really tiny, or make it look like there's more food than there is. And so I did that, and I'm like thinking, well, why do they not see it's right there? Like, I'm not having anything. Can't they see that? And so just the fact of that makes you kind of more alone in your eating disorder. Another thing I wanted to mention about was, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting my mind. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention about was the criteria for being diagnosed with an eating disorder. As you have possibly guessed from my other videos, or maybe this is the first video of mine that you're watching, but I am not anorexic or bulimic or binge eater. I fall into the category of eating disorder not otherwise specified, which basically means you don't fit all of the criteria for any of the disorders. So we'll stick you here because there is definitely an eating disorder present. And so one thing that was hesitant, like in me and in a lot of people before seeking help, is partially the denial phase where you don't think you have an eating disorder. And then it slowly evolves into, okay, you have an eating disorder, but you're not as sick as some other people, so you don't need the help you need because you're not as thin as she is, or you're not severely underweight that you would need help. One thing that often happens is you think, well, I obviously can't be sick because I'm not thin enough, and because I'm not thin enough, I'm perfectly normal. And sorry, I'm like delayed when I say this, but and thinking that you're perfectly normal with this, like your eating issues, gets difficult because then you start to just totally focus on the food, and your days just become consumed with the food and nothing else. And like all you think about is what the next meal will be, who will be there, what they might say, how you can get out of eating it, how many calories there'll be in that meal, how many calories you already had, and what you can do to burn it off. And I would do that in the 10-minute period because I was just fixated on it. And then I would just delve deeper and deeper and finally just not be able to stop because you're compulsively thinking about it. One important thing to note about reaching the criteria of any of those is that a lot of people can be anorexic, but because of the criteria they would not be diagnosed as it. So for instance, I personally think that I am anorexic, however I am not below my weight, like I still have my period, those are all I'm fine with, but I eat hardly anything, I starve myself, like the whole process and thought process of my eating disordered mind is that of an anorexic. I just haven't reached the point of them, the point that they have. But so just to let all of you know, you don't need to reach a level of sickness before reaching help, because if you have any thoughts that go against the norm, I don't even know what the norm is anymore, but go against what your body is saying and what you feel and what others are doing, then you definitely should see someone. The last point that I wanted to touch upon was the need to be able to talk about this topic. Personally, I have no one really to talk to about it except for my counselors and my sister, who I can talk to because she's really supportive of me. But other than that, it's like my parents know, obviously, because I'm in counseling, but they don't know what to say. I don't have the strongest relationship with my parents, and I just can't talk to them or talk to anyone, and so then it's bottling up inside me even more, and it gets tough sometimes. But if you build up a good support system and let the people you trust know, then you will just feel like supported and they will be able to help you through this. I know that it's slowing me down a little that I don't have that great support system, but I'm slowly getting there. So basically, in closure to this National Eating Disorders Awareness Week, I hope all of you will have learned something new. I hope that all of you will take a bigger stand in fighting for awareness of this topic. And also, if you know anyone who you think might have an eating disorder, I cannot stress enough how they need to seek help, because it can be life-threatening and they can die. So basically, here is the conclusion to our wonderful week. This is my favorite week of the year, but yeah, so yep, that's about it. Okay, I'll make a video soon, my March update. Okay, bye.